Hello and welcome to Fables and Fairies. We're not your usual Brothers Grimm, but we hope to be as equally entertaining. So before we dive in, of course, we have our usual announcements. As usual, we are speaking to you from the past. We have not quite mastered the trans-dimensional timeline of the chat. So us here on the screen we are not seeing the Twitch chat right now, but some of us do hang out in Twitch chat. Obviously, I will be there, and sometimes the players are there. So say hello, say if you're enjoying it, and we're really happy to have you. Speaking of chat, this is a loving, awesome queer space, so no hate speech, bigotry, nonsense in our chat, as well as the usual sort of Twitch rules that you all know and love by this point. You know, no links, no excessive symbols, English only, please, because that way we can actually understand what's being said, and all of that. If you are watching us on Twitch, hello and welcome to the premiere of this episode. If you like our style, please do make sure to follow here on Twitch and stay tuned for the rest of our Candlekeep zany adventures. And if you really like what we do, we recently made affiliate, so you are able to offer a subscription to us now, and we would love if you do that. We get your support, which goes right back into making the stream better, and you get our love and appreciation and some really sick emotes that Hannah has made, and they look phenomenal. They are live now, so if you are interested in subscribing, go check those out. But you know, maybe you're watching us on YouTube. You're like, hey, what about me? We love our YouTube viewers too. Thank you so much for finding us there. If you want to catch us live, mosey on over to Twitch and drop a follow there, or do a subscription on YouTube and you'll be alerted when our episodes are ported over to the YouTube platform. So that is that. Speaking of streaming, though, too, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, Sean, but I saw that you've recently started streaming. Do you want to talk about that?
Mostly just for fun. It's nothing serious right now, but
Fair enough.
I played Mass Effect recently. It came
Ooh.
out.
What are you streaming, Sean?
Mass Effect right now.
Very nice.
Working my
Which
way through
Mass
the Legendary
Effect?
Edition.
We're
Check
in
me out. We'll drop a link in the chat, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say a link will appear in the Twitch chat or in our YouTube description if you're watching us over on YouTube. So a link will be available. Go check out Sean. If you've watched any of our content, you know he's funny and great.
Thanks.
Are you like me and like the first 3 hours are just character creation?
Kind of, yeah. It doesn't look
You're just
quite right.
tweaking the face. You're
I
just
changed
changing the facial structure.
Yeah, I changed the nose. Everything looks off, so I got to redo it from the beginning.
Yep.
And
That's
I
a
spent like
good
another
thing.
hour on just figuring out what my name is.
As
Of
long
course.
as you're narrating it the whole time, I feel like that's pretty entertaining.
I'll start doing that now. Once I get more viewers,
Keep,
you know.
keep a live stream of consciousness narration.
Yep. Trust me, I know that struggle, folks. So, without further ado, I think it's time to dive back in. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and there we go. We don't need that at the moment. So, previously on D&D, we have been playing our way through Candlekeep Adventures. We are in our first chapter, if you will, Masfroth's Mighty Digressions. So check that out if you are interested. But previously in our adventures, the party, our Candlekeep Outsource Commission, COC, has found their way together, associates, and been given their, not their first assignment, but their most recent assignment that has involved the Night Watch of Candlekeep being brutally murdered overnight, and finding that these books or creatures posing as books that are known as Gingwatzam seem to be the cause, and they have tracked the source of these Gingwatzam down to the Wide, a large marketplace that exists in Baldur's Gate, and in particular, a stall that goes by the name of Amber Dune Books. Where we last left our party, they had found the residence of this crew of folks that seem to run the Amber Dune Books stall, and they staked it out for a little while before staging a pest control inspection that went horribly awry as they burst into combat, and we pick up as combat has just faded away and they turn to see presumably the woman who seems to be running the show here at the front door. A gasp. By the Maker, what has happened? And that, we will switch over, is where we pick up.
What are we
Probably
doing?
turn on our roll 20. Turning on our roll 20s frantically.
Oh no! Come on, chop chop.
It's fine. I'm working on it. It's launching. Oh no.
You're good.
Ah!
You're good. So yes,
There it
this dark-skinned woman. She has her hair, as you can see, sort of in her token there, pulled up underneath a cowl, and she is just aghast at the scene before her. By the Maker, what has happened here? Explain yourselves.
Is the jackal in the other room dead as well?
No, I think that she got charm personed, so she's
Yeah,
got.
I've been like calming her down or trying to get what information I could out of her, and right as I was about to do that, that's when the door burst open.
Mhm.
So maybe somebody else take point and either come clean or come up with as convincing a lie as we gave to get in the first place.
Given that I can barely see her and I'm kind of hiding in a corner, can I attempt to hide?
Sure, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Okay. I apologize. It may not be linked tonight because I'm using two different devices.
Oh,
I got an
yes.
18.
Okay, very good. Let's see here.
I will log in on my laptop, so it will be linked.
Not a problem. Okay. Yeah, she seems to, at least for the moment, be transfixed on the scene before her. As far as you can tell, at least.
Do we see anyone else with her? Just this other guy?
You depending on your perspective angle from the door, there are actually two people, specifically the teenage boy and girl that you previously encountered at the stall.
Got it. Okay.
So different than the people who left with her.
Got it. Okay.
Y'all also
Alright.
just got done fighting a rug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, so you are standing in like the tattered remains of a recently animated rug.
And normally when you say
and it's-
fighting a rug, you mean me.
We were invited in and then attacked by your ruggery.
Roll a deception check.
Oh.
We were invited
But bonus
in
for ruggery.
by her ruggery. I'm not being deceptive.
Fair.
You are leaving out some very important
Yeah.
details
Is
between.
omission does omission count as deception? If everything you say is truthful.
Right.
This is why I miss a bluff check.
Fair. I do need a deception check from Zokar.
I feel very strongly that I'm not being deceptive.
All right. Well, that carries through in your delivery. And so she sort of looks around and well, I don't understand what could have led to this. Please, and she beckons to the ones behind her, who you see the teenagers come in and both look at you. They were at the stall. And she sort of whips back. Then what is your business here?
I'm going to say a word to you, and I need to know, so that there may be no further violence, everything that you know. Gingwatsam.
Ah, I see.
Oh.
Well, if a lack of violence is of interest to you, then I think that we can have a discussion then. Clean things up here, and where sort of looks around. Where is Avani?
I deposited him in your back room.
And she rushes to whoopsie, gotta click on my correct window here. She sort of pushes past you, or tries to. Do you stop? Did you stop her?
I don't stop her, but I don't in any way make it easier on her.
Fair. Well, she will step through that door and immediately like gasp, and she does grab a dagger. She sort of has like split attention, like she's looking at you out of the corner of her eye, but then going down and like checking his pulse and checking his wounds at the same time, and she's really not sure where to put her attention.
I did shock him and specify that I left him unconscious in a heap on the floor. He is not dead.
Goodness. Children, come in, and the two follow in after her. And let me actually go ahead here and delete the line of sight blocker, because that will be making things tricky. There we go. Okay. And so they will come in and move him to one of the beds. And she says, well, come into my office and we'll try and get this sorted out as best we can. She will...
Anywhere into an additional location with you. Is any more of your furniture or decoration going to attack me?
Roll a persuasion check.
To make the furniture not attack?
No, to see how this delivery is taken. No. I will, in full disclosure, tell you, since you seem to be familiar with them, that there are 2 more Gingwatsam in my office, should anything go awry.
Oh.
I will be taking my means of defense with me, at which point I will chunk a greatsword out of the ground where it's remained during this entire thing, place it on my back, and follow her in.
Very well.
And our companion is kind of hanging back with your canine guard. Can we talk about that for a minute? I think he should be able to join us as well.
Yes, by all means, all of you may come in, make yourselves comfortable. Razala, it's all right. As you were. And at this point, the woman in the kitchen sort of like looks around nervously. Her charm person is probably, because is it 10 minutes?
I think it's definitely more than
one.
A combat.
I think it's an hour.
Yeah, I think it's an hour.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So she's still like in a confused daze, and she reverts back to the humanoid form, the human form that you had previously seen, and she kind of goes about tidying the kitchen, gathering some wet cloths and whatnot before she heads to check out the incapacitated one.
All right. I will. Seeing that she's not a threat, come in and see what this woman can tell us about her pets.
I'm actually going to stay hidden where I am. Once people leave, I may move slightly closer to eavesdrop, but I'm going to be an ace in the hole for this one.
Okay. Maybe then.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, my apologies. Where are my manners? I am Korvala, and I am the leader of the Amber Dune Pack. And who might the lot of you be?
We are with the Candlekeep Outsource Commission. Several of your books ended up in our depository, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
I see. Give me a moment here. I'm going to move everybody into the room so you can all see. Whoops, Tally is... Tally, there are 3 of her folks moving about. So do you want to like stay in your corner, or are you risking moving?
Oh, it's muted.
You're muted.
For God's sakes, after everybody moves, I will slowly lope into the room, um, and, and just stay right about here
Okay.
or wherever you want me.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll lope into the group.
All right.
I'll de-hide.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood. So she will.
I want to be in on things. I got to protect my friends.
Yeah. So she will. When she hears you say Candlekeep, she just takes a deep sigh. Oh no! I was hoping that they wouldn't end up somewhere noteworthy like that. And this is you.
Is your hope that those powerless to defend themselves would be killed by your Gingwatsam and not a place with reach and resources?
People have been killed?
Three.
Only 3.
Only 3.
Oh.
Meow.
No, that was not at all my intention. I gave them strict instructions that they were to remain in their object forms. They're supposed to obey completely.
Can I insight check this?
Sure.
Apparently it didn't work.
Not great.
They got hungry.
Or ornery.
Oh,
Well,
Well, even if you
I could tell the mental state of the one that I found was hunger.
Got it.
I see. Well, I understand that this does not make anything better, but that was not at all my intent. The way that I understood it was that they would obey completely, and that if anything should go wrong, that perhaps they would vanish and return to the ethereal. But I never intended harm to come to anyone.
Well, that would present a second problem. Books given to Candlekeep have disappeared. Their original books we do not have.
Also, if by return to the ethereal you mean murder people, then sure.
No, I expected that the books might eventually just vanish if these creatures... I actually did not know that they required sustenance. So at worst, I suspected that the books might eventually vanish.
You understand this represents 2 crimes committed in Candlekeep. 1, murder, and 2, worse, theft of knowledge.
I'm not sure when he says worse, he really means it. I'm just going to be like, nah, murder. Murder is the problem right now.
even if you thought they're going to obey, why let them out of your sight anyways? You know, at worst, I still think you targeted Candlekeep, and at best, you're a completely negligent, ethereal being keeper.
Yes.
Also, I've seen the craftsmanship of your scribe. It seems to me like it would have been easier just to copy the book as it was in a Gingwatsam form into a mundane form, and you could have easily forged the books yourselves. Why go to the trouble of using a magical creature to impersonate what you could do by hand?
Well,
Well,
unfortunately, Rama is gifted at repair, but is not a sufficient accomplished forger to trick an astute eye. No, the simple answer is because we needed the money. The Gingwatsams are copies of the originals. I have the originals, but even if we sold our whole collection, it wouldn't be enough.
enough for what?
For
Not our problem.
for a resurrection.
Yes, our problem. Resurrection of whom? Or what?
Our
What?
Well, I am not the first to lead the pack. We previously were in service to our mistress, a wonderful woman named Nandala.
I take it a former wonderful woman.
Indeed.
Do we recognize this name?
If you're proficient, you could make a history check.
It's a darn good question.
Not. Ooh, actually pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a couple decent results there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, probably didn't.
Yeah.
I failed.
We've all dealt with these
Oh, he's my BFF.
esoteric, shape-shifting tribes people.
Right. You do not individually recognize the name, but the language and some of the way that the sort of intonation there gives you the impression that this is a supernatural creature of some sort. It has the name has its origins in the abyssal language.
Uh-oh.
You're saying that Nadala has
Mm.
origins in the abyssal language?
Yes.
It's distinct. From,
The being they are intending to resurrect
Is
Is-
abyssal.
Mhm.
that
Gotcha.
probably not someone they want to resurrect.
Yeah, I'm
Can
not
I
so
say-
fond of helping them.
Can I say to her in abyssal, because I speak abyssal,
Of course you
Amazing.
do.
to what end? Why do you want to resurrect Nadala?
And she sort of looks at you in surprise and answers in abyssal. Because she is our caretaker. She took care of everything. She led the pack. She taught us great secrets and shared her knowledge. The books that we seek to sell are hers. She taught me how to create these Gingwatsam, and she cares for us. She has looked after our extended family when not many civilized people wish to have us about.
I turn around and translate that to the group.
Thank you. That's very courteous.
Well, I don't know if you guys are privy to that or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I don't speak. I don't speak abyssal. I don't know about anybody else.
I do, but
deep.
It just sounds like yowling to me.
yes. Okay. Well, clearly, your patron for all her wonderful traits may have neglected certain details in your education for you to not know the danger that you are placing yourselves and others in by engaging in this Gingwatzam ruse. But I think that as you do still possess the original books, and we are less concerned with damage that cannot be fixed. Let's see if we can come to an accommodation that leaves everyone happy.
For example, you will give us the original books, and we will take the original books.
Hold on 1 second. Our friend here is a little bit zealous.
There's a certain
Compromise
elegance
is
to
important.
Githyanki negotiations, and
This is it, clearly.
yeah, that is
Giving
definitely
your stuff.
the offer that we are prepared to open with. But you know,
Wait,
Or-
hold
or-
on. Our offer is you surrender? Like that's our offer?
Let us cut to the chase. We are here to get the original books since they have disappeared. That is our mission. We will complete our mission. End of conversation. You can fill in the rest of the details from there. They're not pretty details if you do not comply.
Wow. I slink back into the corner. Meow.
He has also said that there are two other Gingwatam
In the
in
room.
this
Yeah,
house with us too.
Where those are? I'm assuming.
Where are those headed off to? We obviously don't know what you're doing.
Well-
I mean, I was going to offer that we don't care so much if the books that we walk away with are the originals or copies.
Copies. Yeah, we don't care.
So if your scribe doesn't need to make a forgery that could convince the trained eye, and simply needs to transfer the information from one volume to another, then that is perhaps a bit more equitable than we walk away and you get nothing.
Yes, label it as
I mean,
a copy for the authenticity of the provenance for the library, and that's all we care about. The knowledge is more important than the originality.
I mean, I do think our boss cares a little bit about the guards that were murdered. Like,
Well,
how do we
yes, that's
ensure this doesn't
separate.
happen again?
Yeah. I think
Out of character, I thought that the one of a kindness of the books was actually paramount to their entry into Candlekeep. Am I incorrect in that assumption?
It
was
is.
just they didn't
it's-
have it in their collection.
Correct. It doesn't have to be a unique book in the world. It just needs to be new from Candlekeep's perspective.
Gotcha.
So even if there's a
Well,
million copies of it, if
I'm-
Candlekeep doesn't happen to have one, they're good. Right? I mean, that's a question.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. That is
Okay.
fair. Now they will potentially make it. So let's say 10 years from now somebody brings the original Dark Hunger that is here, for example, then that would be like a special edition, and they would take the original because it is the original. But yeah, in terms of just a good copy, a high quality copy, then they would take the information within as valuable.
But to Hannah's point, dead people.
Zokar and I are trying to negotiate for the sake of the library, but certainly you should probably speak for the dead, because there should be justice for them as well.
care less about justice and more about the books.
Well, I do appreciate your offer. I think that is fair. We can certainly create transcriptions and give those to the library full as recompense for the trouble that they have had to endure. And I certainly shan't be making any more Gingwatsam. You did mention that I have 2 that remain. Well, and we have 2 more at the stall presently.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, I sensed that one. It's getting hungry.
I will dismiss them and keep the 2 here as bodyguards. But now that I understand how they function, then I should be able to keep them sated on a more manageable level.
yeah, steak.
What
perhaps.
have you learned? What do you know new? What would you do differently?
Well, if you say that they do they kill, or they require sustenance from people?
They drain the life force of whoever seems to be around them when they are awoken, and that draining is uncomfortable, and if allowed to continue, can be fatal.
Well,
I speak from personal experience and observation of the aftermath.
Oh, well, I am very sorry for that. Well,
You should be.
if that is the case, then I suspect that with just 2 of them on hand, not being starving, I should be able to sustain them myself. They are my bodyguards, after all.
If you insist, they're
That's up to you. Just
I
don't
won't
give them to Candlekeep.
Yeah, it's none of our business what you do with your arcane pets, as long as they don't come into our library again.
Yeah,
The
if
real
anyone
question.
should find their way to Candlekeep, we will be darkening your doorstep again.
I assure
Out of
you
character,
that.
are we 100% sure, and forgive my memory from last time, are we 100% sure that there was no intentionality behind her sending them to Candlekeep? None whatsoever? 0?
I feel sure about that.
I think an insight check was recently rolled, and Azure seemed comfortable with that conclusion.
Good. Just checking one last time. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, because if her goal was to get them to Candlekeep, it seems like such a convoluted scheme to sell them in Baldur's Gate and hope that they find their way to Candlekeep. But
Agreed. Especially if there's only a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would send like 100 of them in and be like, good luck.
Yeah, sort of airdrop them onto Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
I mean, I don't want it to go too easy. Too easy. Oh, wait, are we out of character? Are we back in?
Her uncontrolled abyssal magic did murder 2 people in Candlekeep and almost us.
And this is the
Fully.
only, rouse we know she's doing. Maybe she's like a whole other arsenal, menagerie of arcane things she's messing up.
That's
so.
true.
I don't know.
But in any event,
I'm willing to
The
give her the
immediate-
benefit of the doubt just because
Yeah, the
she's
immediate-
living in a hovel in the shady side of Baldur's Keep. Clearly, her life's not going too well. We already beat the piss out of her bodyguards. Whatever.
as long as she knows that if anything goes, find her, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
The concern is
That's
getting
what I
the
mean.
books. Let's get the books, and then we can address the other issue after we get a copy of the books.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll get the books.
Very well, very well. We shall get to work on those immediately. As for, I understand your hesitance and your concerns. I rest assured that I am appalled by what's happened, and I know that nothing can really make up for it. But for our part, I certainly do not intend to create any more Gingwatsam. I shall dismiss the 2 spares, and I think our plan, we have made some money on those sales. So we will sell the true originals, and as soon as we have sold the originals, we shall be leaving Baldur's Gate.
Where will you head from here?
Well, with Nadala to lead us again, we shall go back home.
Where's home?
In the Aranok Desert.
How do you spell
Sounds
that?
lovely.
Do I know where that is?
Oh, pardon me. Sorry, guys. I am like really bleh today. If you're proficient, make a history or nature.
I am 16.
Okay.
Maybe that came through. I'm not sure.
Nah, not
And
yet.
sorry, how do you spell Oranak?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. I just know that location. Just yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Enough.
If you look up the Faerun, it's on there.
Yeah.
Yep,
It is.
understood.
It is a very large desert located west and slightly north of Baldur's Gate, a fair ways off.
Quick check. Does that come through now?
Nope. Oh, yep, there it is.
Yeah.
There we go. Fixed. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. That was a nonsense roll. Okay. Well, that seems fair. I'm fine with that.
Can we see you dismiss the Gingwatsam right now?
Yes, I suppose so. Let's head to the stall then. She'll, gather things up and start taking you back to the wide. Basically, at this point, the entire pack goes with you. So it's all hands on deck essentially. And so they get back to the stall, and you see the 2 that she had left with are now men in the stall. And she sort of gestures over and sort of pulls down the awning and, puts up the away on break sign and takes out from the display case, the 2 books that you had previously looked at.
I just envision a sign, like a bad store sign that says back in 10 minutes, except in Infernal or in Abyssal.
No, it's in common. It's in common. But yeah, very, very much so. And so she sets them down on the counter and sort of runs a finger along the spine and speaks in Abyssal. So those of you who know it can understand. She says, "Your time here is done. Your orders are rescinded. I wish for you to return home." And they sort of shiver and emerge into that ball of light, that sort of undulating blues and yellows and white that you had seen before. And then... And she does the same with the next one.
Sweet.
What was the last part of that? You can go home now?
You can go home now.
Okay. Just in case.
So there we are. The spares have been dismissed, and as I said, it is my suspicion that I should be able to keep the remaining 2 satiated myself. If not, then they shall have to be dismissed as well.
No qualms about that.
Just don't let them out of your sight.
Yeah,
certainly not.
Yeah, take better care of your ethereal pets, lady.
How long until we receive the copies?
Well, should be with just Aman.
I am also willing to assist you in this endeavor. I have handled many books in my years at Candlekeep. I believe I can lend some assistance to your scribe in this transcription.
Oh, well, then I suspect that with the 2 of you, perhaps about a 10-day?
Wow, we're stuck here for a while, guys.
Seems like.
It's been a while since I've been to Baldur's Gate, so I don't know.
Yeah,
We could get into some trouble here.
There are so many rabbits to be eaten.
All right. Yeah. And so, go ahead.
How long did we pay for the horses? Just want to make sure we don't forget about them.
The day.
We finish up.
Okay.
Finish up the mission. We check our parking app.
There's just the boot on the horse.
If we're going to be here for that long, I will try and see if there's any other books in their rare book collection that we ought to transcribe and bring with us, in addition to the 3 that were Gingwat-sam.
Oh, she is already ahead. Like, she was assuming that your bargain was for everything they have.
Yeah, no, she guessed better than I did. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no. So that's why even with 2 of you, it's going to be a 10-day because she has 6 books that are like Candlekeep worthy.
Got it.
Do we want to hog all of them? I mean, is that?
No,
Other people need to get.
This is going to bring great prestige to the Outkeep commission. That we came to replace 3 books and we have doubled the number.
Yeah, exactly. They love us now. We're big in Candlekeep.
All right. So let's see here. So yeah, with that arrangement made, there is time spent making these copies over the following 10-day, in which you all have some downtime and whatnot. The full list of books that they have, by the way, I am putting into our Roll20 chat. There we go. So of course,
Castanmir's Guide to Gingwat-sams.
Draconic Humors. Okay, this sounds like great books.
So that is that. So of course, Mazfrost's Mighty Digressions, Fallen Tethumar, and The Dark Hunger that you had previously been aware of. You saw Draconic Humors on display at the stall earlier, so now you have the original presented to you, as well as Castamar's Guide to Gingwat-sam, which does not detail how they are created, but is a very detailed guide, similar to Baratun's paper, essentially, on what they are.
Cross off
our name.
Yeah. I'm comparing it for inaccuracies.
Indeed.
Plagiarized.
Brendan, I have DM'd you.
Yes.
Something my character is doing.
Gotcha.
In case you didn't see.
No, yeah, I'm getting there. Okay. Yeah, so congratulations. There is officially the end of the adventure. You have come to a peaceful resolution for these books and what has gone awry. So congratulations. Over the course of the coming downtime, you will level up to 3.
Was there a possibility we would come to a non-peaceful resolution?
Oh, absolutely.
It seems very obvious that we were on the verge of a non-peaceful solution.
You were definitely on your way to it.
I am always on the verge of a violent
I
confrontation.
know, that's why I'm always like pulling you back a little.
Oh, you're all farmers.
How much gold do we have?
I'm gonna click the level up button.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's the best button ever.
So, in the course, so I guess we'll cover Baldur's Gate time first. You guys have a 10-day in Baldur's Gate. Unfortunately, Baradzoon is pretty darn busy, so I think we know what's happening with his downtime, but is there anything you wish to try and accomplish, like in your evenings or anything like that?
I don't really have anything. Maybe just keep an eye on, because I know that somebody tried to pickpocket me at the market, so I want to make sure that I do not get caught unawares while spending my free time just, I don't know, enjoying and taking in the city.
You will... Actually, I'm kind of curious. Go ahead and just make me a persuasion check.
Okie doke.
Okay. Towards the tail end of the week, Aman, that you're working with on these transcriptions, after you've been making light conversation and, you know, going through all this and getting to know each other a little better, is just going to give you your empty coin purse back.
Lovely.
And explain that the glasses, you know, the free glasses with a purchase of 2 books is their tag team. This is someone who I think is an easy mark. While she does the talking and distracts, he skirts around the stall and pickpockets.
Well, I'm glad that you know, you considered me an easy mark, and no harm, no foul. Perhaps I'll get the better of you next time.
You're welcome to try. All right, and so that is your Baldur's Gate portion of your downtime. And anything from Azure in Baldur's Gate?
I'll go make some introductions discreetly.
Okay. Very good.
You know, ingratiate myself with the local thieves guild if I can find them.
All right. Do given the tidbits of overture that you had, do you do anything with Zokar, or do you try and involve Zokar, or is this your sort of own language?
My own thing for right now.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Maybe I'll sneak away with him for one night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and
Introduce you to Laughing Sean.
Very good. Very good. Go ahead and roll me. If you're not already proficient, go ahead and add proficiency for a persuasion check.
I am proficient.
Okay, yeah, so same thing.
Oh, sorry, you said persuasion.
Persuasion, yes. All right. So we're gonna do this slightly hand wavy in a sense of, you know, handing power back to the players in the narrative, kind of like we had with Laughing Sean. Azure, in the course of your making the inroads, you know, hanging out in the right places, you have made a friend in the criminal underworld of Baldur's Gate, and at a later point, you may introduce who this person is when the moment seems opportune.
Cool. Have I heard anything from Neverwinter for my whole backstory with that yet?
Yes, as well. Not presently.
Okay.
We'll have some Candlekeep downtime as well.
Okay.
For people to do some personal activities and whatnot. I know having downtime in a specific city kind of tethers you, so I wanted to make sure we cover everybody.
Got it.
All right, so very good. You spend some time, and you have a new friend in the underbelly of Baldur's Gate. All right, Zokar, how about you? How are you spending most of your time?
Watching, waiting, probing for any hint of deceit, and then I have given you what I'm doing on the last day.
For the majority of your time, go ahead and give me an insight check. Okay.
I give myself guidance on this. If in this is like an overtime check.
Yeah, I think it is more of an overtime check and just sort of general awareness. So the 14 in that case. But yeah, you feel pretty comfortable with the Amber Dunes. They are very helpful, very sort of shy and afraid, definitely very, very cowed. Over the course of the week, they do manage to sell 3 of the originals after they've been copied. So, they're moving the merchandise, and you probably overhear a conversation one evening about thinking about, okay, well, which temple are we going to go to, starting to make the plans for the resurrection and whatnot, and making plans for leaving. So they seem pretty sincere. All right, and then if your private message to me is unchanged, then go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. Okay. All right. The response that you get is somewhat non-committal. Like, thanks for the information. We'll keep an eye out for it.
I use the opportunity to point out what kind of profit for a guardsman this would represent, and that it's likely they have killed people if there's an unexplained disappearance in the upper city. This could have something to do with it, and that Candlekeep would certainly appreciate the matter looked into, and will leave it to their discretion.
Okay. All right.
Sticking the 5-0 on these people?
No, why would I do that?
Right. All right. Very good. So that is that. Then, Selva, how do you spend your time in Baldur's Gate?
I kind of step away, take in the architecture, do a little sketching in my journal to inspire paintings down the road. Kind of have a sense of sort of a nostalgia for what life was like before I kind of got this weird storm sorcery gift. I kind of go out to the tavern and just hang around and talk with people as I normally do, just sort of fit in and chat with people and kind of learn about them. And then, yeah, I think I kind of just, it's almost like a reminiscing, weird, sort of bittersweet, because I can kind of remember how things used to be before things got complicated, but also starting to enjoy coming into my powers and being part of this ragtag Candlekeep commission group that I'm in. So coming to like where things are going now.
All right. Do you feel like Selva is drawn more towards her art and focusing on art, or on socializing and hanging out where artists hang out?
I think like the hanging out, socializing with people, kind of getting back into the community of weird, interesting people she used to hang around with.
Cool. All right. Well, then in that case, go ahead and are you proficient with persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Then go ahead and roll that for me.
Okay.
All right.
Well, terribly.
Inspiration. Remember, you were asking what that is for. This would be an opportunity to use it if you wanted to, although this is on a background thing and not a life or death thing. But inspiration exists.
Mm-hmm. And forgive me, what was inspiration again? Like, what does it do for you?
An inspiration would mean you'd get to roll again.
Let's do that. I didn't use it, so let's go ahead and use that.
All right.
Well, still okay.
Okay. So, in the course of, hanging out where artists hang out and, seeing some of the sites, it's a very different city from from Waterdeep. Waterdeep is pretty diverse. It has its high class areas, and even in the lower class areas, this cultural camaraderie and whatnot. Baldur's Gate is a lot more rough and tumble, and look out for yourself. So the artist community here is a lot more, like street graffiti and that sort of thing, and they'll have a day job as a portrait painter for the patriarchs, but how they really unwind in their real art is things that they do on the street, and dance performances, and these sort of like make your fun where you can find it without having any money. And so in the course of that, you also make a friend to be introduced at some point in the future among the artist community of Baldur's Gate. Very good. All right. And then how about Tally? What are you doing in Baldur's Gate?
Well, so Tally is actually going to spend most of his time in seclusion at whatever inn we decide to stay at, because Tally has developed a new ability to summon a companion. So occasionally when my friends are around, I start seeing a small creature hanging out near me, which looks kind of like a cross between a small version of me and a dragon, except black. So like a black cat dragon. And it sometimes hisses at you and sometimes wants pets. It depends on the mood it's in. And I have become a Drake Warden Ranger, so I now can summon a little mini dragon that hangs out with us and helps us in combat.
Very nice. And actually, to that end, and this may take a little more work when you're back at Candlekeep, but actually, the book Draconic Humors catches your attention. And even some of the Amber Dune might, when they see this strange little Drake following you around, they'll suggest you might actually be interested in this book. And they'll, once it's been copied, they'll pass it over to you. And it is a very interesting book. It extensively covers the physiology of dragons and other draconic subspecies, documenting all commonly known aspects of their life cycle and illnesses. Notably, the tome comments that draconic diseases seem to be extremely rare. The book even claims that dragons can supposedly subconsciously repress the symptoms of diseases that they carry, and this is why we don't notice them having illnesses, typically. And
Interesting.
What really catches your attention is the book describes, rather centrally, the ritual of mingled humors, that is said to create a permanent bond between a humanoid and a dragonid, thus extending the dragon's immunity to the humanoid.
Oh, or in my case, a cat and a dragonid. So are you suggesting that I'm now immune to disease?
No, that's not quite what I'm because this is very if I could put it in real world terms, there's a lot of this is essential oils of the D&D universe. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of probably bullcrap in here.
Some crystals.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Sophie about her diseases.
But yeah, long story short being that given some of your interests and your backstory elements, this could be a valuable thing for you to undertake when you return to Candlekeep and you have the appropriate environment to attempt this ritual, perhaps.
Indeed. Lovely. In game terms, if you, dear, could add a some kind of little black thingy to the Roll20 set of icons that we can pull.
Yes. I will absolutely do
Because
that.
you better believe I'm going to be pulling this out in every combat we have from now on.
Good,
Because it's the only thing I can do.
good. All right. Well, with that, your time in Baldur's Gate, unless I'm missing anyone and they want to jump back in, but I think your time in Baldur's Gate comes to an end, quiet and peacefully for most of you. And as you are sort of packing things up and getting ready to take your wagon back to Candlekeep, and you are heading out, grabbing sort of one last drink before you go and picking up supplies at the local general store, feed for your horses or what have you, you hear a very interesting rumor of how 6 individuals have been apprehended in the lower ward for the murder of a patriarch.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Unrelated to our mission.
Mm-hmm.
Justice
As
has,
far as we are concerned, yes.
I believe that you were, new friends, concerned about justice being served. Justice has been served.
Assuming that they did have anything to do with the death of the patriarch, they might face extreme consequences, but
They
Yeah, so we have no
they are wealthy enough
jurisdiction.
to be able to be found innocent if that's not true. So
Oh, I'm
We have
sure
no
let's leave it up to
jurisdiction to
the
investigate
system to
random crimes in Baldur's Gate. That's not our job.
exactly
Oh,
exactly.
I'm sure that their money went right into the pocket of the guardsmen. I'm sure they find themselves without any resources.
And so with that, you are able to make your way back to Candlekeep along a couple days. Do you undertake anything upon your journey that is otherwise quiet?
I'll begin um, muttering to myself in various, like in Elven and in Common, about improvements I wish to make to my armor, and just kind of, sort of absent-mindedly be tinkering in my head. So just, if I could increase arcane resistance along the steel ley line in the, and just
Mm-hmm.
blather on about
Magic Babble.
Yeah.
Magic Babble. Very good, very good. Well, then you all arrive safely back in Candlekeep, ready to enjoy some well-deserved off time between missions. You are each awarded 150 gold pieces for successful completion of this mission and return of very valuable tomes. Not original, but the information is novel and worthwhile to the collection of Candlekeep. So you each
Well,
gain.
that's a lot of cat treats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
And
said 150?
yep, 150.
Is that like our standard reward, or is this a high reward? Is this a low reward?
That's on the high side because you
Okay.
you actually brought. Not only did you solve the problem, but you brought back additional books, additional materials.
We went above and beyond, is what I'm
Mhm.
hearing.
Mm-hmm.
It did. Well done.
Very good.
Very good. All right, I think we'll take a quick little bio break. Sound like a good moment, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'll come back and we'll do downtime activities. And for those of you who are gaining a subclass, we'll do your level up, montages, if you will. All right, and we are back from bio break. Remember, folks, bio breaks are important whether you're at the table or if you're streaming, especially if you're streaming, because screen fatigue is a thing with your Zoom D&D. So you have gotten back to Candlekeep. You have another 10-day period before you will have an assignment put before you. So you have some time to, cool off a little bit, get some of your level up abilities, and actually, to an earlier point, Sean, I am sending a message to Azure via Discord. Let's see if I can get my tabs correct here. There you are. So almost immediately upon the party's return to Candlekeep, there is a courier message for Az that reads as follows in your private messages. And in the meantime, we have, well, Zokar, you are picking up a subclass, so we'll start with you. What are you doing in your downtime, and how does which subclass, and how is this all manifesting?
So Zokar has picked the Armorer subclass, and he, like I said, on most of the journey home, the 3-day journey home, is muttering to himself and thinking. Upon arrival, and I'm assuming there's a debriefing. At the conclusion of the debriefing, he locks himself in his workshop / bedroom. It's really more of a workshop than a bedroom. It just happens to have a bed in it, and doesn't emerge for most of a day. And when he does, it's to knock on Selva's door.
Ooh.
Who's there?
Zokar.
All right. I open the door and let Zokar in.
I apologize for the intrusion, but I could use your help.
All right.
I am making alterations to my armor, and I have need of some of the power of the storm that you wield. And with this, he produces a small, kind of oily looking magical stone. It doesn't appear to be any stone that you're familiar with. I was wondering if you could take this and pour your lightning into it.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
This should be an opportunity for you to unleash all your might. This stone will retain it, and you will create an impression on it, and that will improve my armor, and I would be indebted to you.
Is there a place we can go that's got less valuables around, like maybe on the ramparts or something like that, and where nobody's around, and I can try to do this because, as you know, I'm not the most.
A wise precaution, my lady. Wherever you decide.
All right. Well, leave the stone with me, and I will do my best.
When you perform the ritual, I do need to be nearby in order to invest some of my own will into it.
All right. Well, let's find a place where there's kind of a door you can hide behind, just in case things get a little intense.
As you suggest.
All right. So Selva sort of, takes this and, stews on it for a little bit. The magic works in strange ways in your body and ebbs and flows. And you actually, the next day, or I should say the next night, you wake bolt upright in your bed, Selva, and you feel that tingle in the air, and you know that a storm is almost here. Even though you have a window, but it's not really looking in the right direction, but you just know that there's a storm coming in off the ocean, and it's probably about 11 p.m. right now.
I sit bolt upright. Love that pun. And then I kind of gather myself. I gather the orb I usually use to make my storm sorcery happen, or to be a conduit. And I leave my room and I go over to Zokar's and I kind of knock on the door emphatically, and I'm like, "You got to wake up. Sorry, I know it's late. Are you here? I hope you're home."
You hear fumbling, and behind you hear just like things being knocked over, and a very sleepy-eyed, startled-looking Zokar, his hair normally pulled in a top knot, undone, long, disheveled, like sticking up on one side. Is it time?
Yes, if we want it to be good, it's got to be tonight. So let's go up to the rampart.
Absolutely. I'm right behind you, and you turn around and you see that his armor is like on a mannequin stand, and he pulls it off, cloaks it under one arm, and then he's right off after you. He's wearing whatever the medieval equivalent of like boxer shorts are. He's like too excited to even think about putting on clothes.
Right. Oh,
I was picturing a full like Ebenezer Scrooge like get up, but yeah.
no, that's part soon, maybe. All right. So yeah, rushing out onto the through the hallways, the hushed quiet of Candlekeep by night. As you're running by through the stained glass windows, you can see faint flickers in the distance as the storm is rolling in off the sea. And you rush up to the ramparts that face out across the Sword Coast, and you can see the mighty thunderheads rising up, flashing in the distance. You can see the outlines of them, the salty sea air that is being tossed by heavy winds that are starting to blow in off the ocean, and it's just so strangely comforting and terrifying in the same moment.
I kind of I take the stone that Zokar gave me and I go out onto the rampart. It's kind of really windy. It's starting to get really kind of like sideways rain. I know you need to be close by, Zokar, but I'm not an expert at this yet. So I do recommend that you close the door behind you. And as I kind of feel the swell and the kind of barometric pressure change, I know that it's about that time. So I kind of lift one hand into the air, awaiting a lightning strike, as I hold the stone in the other hand, with the intent of.
Sorry,
What's that?
just to sneak in there. As you begin to do this, you hear from the other side of the door loud Gith chanting. It's very like just lots of th and guttural sounds, and it's coming from behind, and it's seeming to rise in energy with the energy of the storm and the energy that you're beginning to feel. There's like a crescendo building. Please continue.
Mm-hmm. I was there. I was ready for the crescendo, and I don't know if I need like any kind of check, but anyway, a lightning bolt eventually does hit. It kind of goes all around and successfully sort of is directed down the arm that already has the sort of Lichtenberg scars and kind of through and into the stone. And it's like bright and sort of explosive. And but I managed to hang on to it, and kind of almost to my own surprise, it kind of all ends, and the stone is sort of glowing, and electricity is still kind of fuming off of it. It smells very ozony and staticky, and I take off like a kind of scarf I had on and cover the stone in it, and say like, Zokar, I think you can come out, and I give him the stone.
As I exit at that, I'm still continuing the chanting, and as you watch this glowing stone that's like wrapped in your scarf, the light that's kind of peeking through the fiber begins to change and becomes a sort of orangish color, and there's a kind of background hum, and it changes in pitch and becomes more stabilized until it becomes just a single note. And when it does, I gradually take it, I place it in the center of my armor, and all of a sudden, this kind of orange and silver energy crackles out through the armor. I dot it very, very quickly, faster than you've ever seen anyone don any kind of armor. And it's then you notice that the clanking of my armor isn't quite as loud. I seem to be moving faster in it as little bits of electrical energy pass into the legs and the arms. And it's at that point that I point at a bit of rampart off in the distance. And I kind of flex my chest out, and a bolt of orange electricity shoots out of it and impacts the stone in a spark of electrical force. And I turn to you and I say, "Oh yes, this will do very nicely."
I'm just like, huh. Wow.
And Selva, as you're sort of taking all of this in and you know, admiring at this handiwork and seeing what your magic has accomplished together, you notice that your scars are still glowing as they had when you were struck by the lightning. And as you sort of look up at the sky, you notice that very quickly the storm is abating. And almost as you think about it, the glow begins to fade and then pulse back when you think about it again. You almost seem to have this control over this light within you and a new level of understanding of how your spells might be manipulated. And you start to have this instinctive sense of ways that you can change your spells with metamagic.
I kind of look up and go, "Probably still not best to stand in metal armor on the top of this roof." And I tap them twice, and you watch as it unfurls off of me, and I step out of it instantaneously.
Are you Iron Man now?
I was gonna say something.
Iron Man?
You're Mithril Man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. He's Githril Man.
There you go.
Might be glad. Oh no, wait, that's a different person.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Meanwhile, over the past couple days, what has Tally been up to?
Well, the problem is that my new Drake is not obeying quite as well as I would like, and keeps escaping and running around Candlekeep and getting into the library and causing all kinds of trouble, because whenever I summon the Drake, it gets some kind of magical energy. And so I keep finding out that it's frozen some of the books, or it set fire to the kitchen, or it's
That-
causing all kinds of trouble.
Thankfully, it can't set fire to anything because fire magic doesn't work in Candlekeep.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, then it lightnings the kitchens.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it acids some piece of art. And so basically I've spent my entire downtime running around trying to capture it and apologizing to the people that it's damaged, and assuring them that it will in fact be used for the good of Candlekeep once I figure out how to control it. And over the course of the week, I learn how to, I get enough of a familiarity with it so it'll actually do what I tell it to do, like a kitten growing up.
Gotcha. I love it. So are you taking the sort of animal handling approach and like doing training, or are you leaning to the Book of Draconic Humors?
I'm taking the animal handling approach and
Okay.
trying to like actually figure out how to turn it into my animal companion, basically.
I
Even
like
though
it.
it's only there temporarily and gets summoned and unsummoned, it's the same Drake every time. So
Right.
I figure somehow it pops in and out of the ethereal plane. I don't quite understand how that works, but I don't really need. It just does. And yeah, I summon it several times a day because I can summon it. It lasts for 2 hours, and then I can summon it as many times as I have spell slots. So I can summon it for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I just train and wreak havoc and repair things. And during the other 8 hours of the day when I'm awake, I fix things.
All right. I like it. I like it. Go ahead and
Yeah.
Give me an animal handling. I just want to sort of see what this experience is like.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna do it off the grid. I'll tell you what I get.
That's fine.
It's a 13.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's definitely sort of like growing pains, and is difficult to corral around. But then eventually you get the sort of like, oh, I have to do the positive reinforcement, not the discipline. Basically, is what it comes down to, and you are able to assert control over this strange creature that is bound to
Yeah.
you. And
I also go to Zokar and I ask Zokar if he can make any delicious treats that I can use to train my Drake, and if in his repertoire of cooking appetizers he has any things that might be good for my kitty Drake.
Has he expressed a preference for any of the rodent or birds that are around here?
All of them. Though sometimes instead of eating them, she shoots them with lightning.
Perhaps some sort of raw meatloaf, then. I will look into it.
Yes, thank you.
Very good, very good.
Anything that would not suffer from being shocked.
We are the Lightning Squad now. We are officially Lightning Squad.
Yeah, clearly. So with some fantastic,
I have no lightning, but the cat does.
so with some delicious pate paw prints, maybe instead of jam prints.
I'm just gonna take a bunch of animals and cram them together in something it can shock and make it delicious on its own.
Yeah.
It likes to cook its
It'll
own meals. We will
fuse
provide
them
it
with
a
the
meal
lightning.
kit.
Yeah,
We'll provide it with a meal kit.
I like it. I like it. Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. And so with that, Tally does indeed pick up the skills of a Drake Warden and come to a deeper understanding of this creature, who is named.
Oh, it's definitely Sophie.
Oh, it's straight up still Stoffy. Okay, I figured.
It's straight up my kitty. She's gonna be on camera.
Yeah, she's so.
I'm gonna
fresh.
need to make her a little pair of wings.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I love it. I love it. Very good. All right. Then, Baratsun, do you get up? I know you're not picking up a subclass, but what happens with you in your downtime?
So I am going to take a closer look at this Casimir's Guide to Gingwat Zams, and I'm going to be very critical with comparing this work to my own contributions to the science, as I feel like I should have been able to identify what this creature was immediately, and I've clearly failed in my preparations for applying the knowledge that I've gained. So I'm doing some mental rearranging, I suppose, to be more able to act upon the things that I've learned in my years here at Candlekeep.
I like it. I like it. Very good. So you take some time to do that. In the course of your level up, do you discover or invent any noteworthy spells that you wish to share, or is that a surprise for the future?
Nothing. I do actually learn the augury spell, as I think that sometimes having the input of an extraplanar being can be illuminating, and we can't always rely on what's in front of us. So
Very nice.
that is my big utility pickup, I suppose.
Excellent. I like it. I like it. And remember, per our discussion, because you have access to the archives of Candlekeep, and also for the benefit of our audience, our wizard here picks up 3 spells per level rather than the usual 2.
Fancy.
Yeah.
The rest of them are just combat spells because,
Right.
as I
Wow, I
said,
need to
I'm
take
learning
all
how to not be so useless in a fight.
Mm-hmm. All right. And last but certainly not least, Azure, who has received a curious letter. How do you spend your time this week?
Just so I kind of have some background, is the woman in this letter?
It is, you very much
Okay.
recognize that name.
Okay. And I'm assuming this is from my contact.
Yes.
Okay. Just reread it again. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. As the audience will be picking up on, Azure has secrets to his backstory, so we have to sort of
Ooh.
tiptoe around them.
So I will probably disappear one night. I won't try to sneak out, but I'll just leave.
Mhm.
You guys can ask me where I'm going if anyone is up.
Um,
I'll just say
I'm curious. Just go. Go ahead and roll a stealth check, and we'll see if anyone sort of
Yeah.
passively notices you.
pretty good at that. Not great.
Oh man, yeah, pretty much anyone in the party might passively notice as packing up a few things.
Hey, buddy, where are you off to?
Oh, just clutching the letter in my hand. Just have something to do outside for a bit. I'll be back in a couple days, and I'll just kind of hurriedly rush off.
Have fun.
Thanks. You too. Do. Sorry.
Augury. Should I be concerned about this?
Unfortunately, that's not how augury works. It's wheel versus woe.
Mm,
Whoa, lots of whoa.
So I guess I'll go try and find out if I can see where she went.
Okay. All right. Go
So-
ahead and to what sort of approach are you going to take to that? Is it a asking around? Is it a physical, clue gathering?
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more like gathering clues. Like see if I can break into a room.
Okay.
See if check the trash.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and roll a good old fashioned investigation then.
Okay, I'm not great at this. I'm gonna spend the inspiration that I had saved up
Okay.
because that's just awful. That's much better.
Okay.
Check the trash outside as well.
As you are delving through these, looking for clues and whatnot, you find some troubling correspondence between why am I spacing out here? Between House Bowbrook and the Lord Lantress, indicating some disputes over dowry.
Disputes over dowry. So I would say that she and I were like childhood friends.
Okay.
So would I have any idea where maybe she would hide out, where she would have gone and hidden, or get maybe like a friend that her parents don't know about?
I would say that based on, I was gonna say, well, based on the clues that you're finding and your sort of background understanding, this seems more like a foul play scenario.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna go talk to Quaylon and see if he has any ideas either.
Okay.
See if he has anything.
He would have the idea that if you're able to get something firm, then the right people could act on it.
I see. I'll give him a hug too. Haven't seen him in a while. Huh. Okay, so I need some kind of evidence. And do what I think I have right now would work? Or does it just seem to be...
What you have right now is pretty damning, but you would need something in terms of location and evidence of where she is now.
Got it. Okay. Huh. Do the family have like a beach house out in the country?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go over there and investigate there as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a fresh investigation.
Okay, I have one more. Uh, do I have to re-roll it, or can I?
um,
So if I re-roll, do I get to choose, or do I?
yeah. If you
Okay.
use inspiration, it's like having advantage. So you could
Okay.
take the 11, or you can try again.
I'm gonna re. Oh, jeez, this is great.
All right. Okay. You head out to try and get some sort of evidence and whatnot.
Mhm.
And in the course of this, as you're sort of snooping around, you're basically trying to find a servant of the, find one of the Bowbrook servants that would,
Mhm.
be able to be pulled away. And as you are sort of slipping into the garden of the estate, and you're sort of like slinking along, door's gonna open, come out onto the balcony, and she's just gonna turn over and make eye contact with you. And there's a moment there. And then someone calls for her from inside, and you hear a guard, like a family guard, come stomping out and like drag her back in. You are not noticed by anyone but her.
Okay.
And you then move on to, you do successfully find a servant that you can slip away to act as
Mhm.
witness and
Mhm.
pass along to the authorities.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'll alert the authorities and
All right.
okay, and then I'll sneak back to Candlekeep, I guess.
All right. Very good. The matter taken care of. You make your way back to Candlekeep and feel confident in your newfound skills as an inquisitive.
And just really quick, which out of the probably out of the two of you, Jokar and Selva, which of you are probably the better fighter, like physically?
Yeah.
I've like me physically?
Oh, sorry, not
No.
Selva, Tilly. Tally. Wow, I don't know people's names tonight.
Wow. Which one of us is the better fighter?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm pretty good.
So
I don't
I was
it
gonna
have
say,
definitely
I think-
hammer and
depends.
horn.
I was gonna say,
I
I think it depends on what you're looking for. If my observations are correct, Zokar is more so melee, and Tally is a mix.
I'm a mix, but I have a 19 dexterity.
So
Pretty good.
yeah, ranged versus melee.
I am the
Zokar
superior
wears heavy armor and a giant sword. If that's
I
what
am
you
fair.
want.
a superior warrior.
And exactly. Tally wears medium armor and a giant bow.
Okay. I don't know. I'll probably take both of you and just kind of watch how you like battle and try to see just kind of study you guys.
Oh gosh.
Nothing bad.
Watch me
Just
do
like
some target. You should watch me
yeah,
do some target practice. I'm training my Drake to go retrieve my arrows.
nice. I'll probably join you for that as well.
Very good.
I come back kind of sizzling.
Right.
Ooh.
Excellent. All right. Anything else, Azure?
If anyone asks, I'm sure. Oh man, why don't I know people's names tonight? Baratsoon, I'll say. I just had to check on an old friend.
Oh, well, that explains everything.
Yes, I'll tell you about her sometime.
I mean,
Bara, I will also call on Barzun. Brother, do you wish to see the improvements I have made to my armor?
I would be delighted.
How have your studies been going?
They have been very fruitful. It so often happens, spending some time away from Candlekeep allows me to refresh and refocus and it makes the return that much more invigorating to dive in anew to books that are so familiar to me.
Selva was able to help me harness electrical power. I have applied that electrical power to this armor. Watch, and I will tap the armor and step into it nearly instantaneously. I have stored multiple forms of energy configuration in it. In addition to improving my strength, as it already did, it can be used to fire a blast, and I'll chew one out. I can expend a wave of thunderous energy to ward people away from me, or fire bolts of unerring accuracy um, on a more limited basis. It's also much quieter and improves my speed. It will form a template with which the Gith will be all the more effective when we finally return um, to the shoulders of our dead god.
That is,
Wow.
I'm very impressed by your breakthroughs and by your enthusiasm for your work.
Do you not enjoy your work?
Oh, I certainly do. I admire that trait in all scholars.
Is it not better than the tedium of eternity?
Oh, absolutely. It's been 50 years since I felt the timelessness of our adopted home.
I will never get used to digestion, but what a pleasant experience eating is.
Yeah,
I
you go ahead. I,
Mhm.
I was just gonna say you seem to have a knack for all of uh, the culinary arts as well as uh, the more technical skills with which you are proficient.
I believe if you applied yourself, you would find you had just as much skill. It is much like making magical construction or casting a spell. You have a list of materials and uh, a studied way in which to put them together and apply them. Cooking makes as much sense to me as spellcraft and mechanical construction. I'm sure if you've not given yourself the opportunity to cook, you would find you would be an excellent one as well. And with such an abundance from these farmers, there is much to prepare.
I will have to try my hand at some unpracticed talents.
Before time runs out.
True.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Very good. All right. Well, is there anything else that anyone wishes to accomplish in the course of their 10-day? All right. All right. So, with that, another week passes. Many of
I
you.
did have one more. I did have
Oh,
one more.
okay. Okay.
I had a scroll of what I'm assuming was Find Familiar.
Um, no, that was Unseen Servant, actually.
Ah, Unseen Servant. Okay, I thought it was Find Familiar. Never mind then.
Gotcha.
I might. Does that have anything to do with my whole unique crafting system, or do we want to talk about that offline?
We will go over the details offline, but for the audience's benefit, I love the artificers the way they are. They're perfectly fine, but I find it kind of a bummer when, a wizard is the only one who can benefit from a spell book. So I have my artificers learn their infusions much the same way that wizards copy spell books. So since you have the scroll there, you can really kind of do a twofer and give it to Baratzun and be like, hey, Baratzun, you should learn this. And then also I can invent something from it. So both of you basically can use the use the scroll.
Yeah, okay.
Unseen servant, you say?
Yeah. So but yeah, RJ, I'll touch base with you offline about, I think there's a couple of infusions that use Unseen Servant. There's like one or two.
Okay. We can talk about that. We don't need to weigh this down with that kind of detail. We can do a crafting summary when it's appropriate.
Exactly.
Yeah, then I'm good. Sorry. Please continue.
No worries, no worries. So, with your leisure time, pass down, and you return the next week, the next 10 day, to your standard briefing. And has anything changed since the last time? I think we had Zokar early. Zokar and Tally were early, maybe, and then Barad.
No, I'm early this time. I was the latest. I'm early this time.
Okay.
I will arrive second with a dazzling array of treats and a thank you cake that is explicitly for Selva.
It's funny that you think you're arriving second, because I was definitely there before anyone else got there, as before, because I never went to bed the night before, being nocturnal and a drunk. So I get there so early because I had nothing else to do, and you see me now having this winged crackling creature that I'm like petting. And as soon as you get there, Zokar, I point at you and I tell the winged creature to go, and she goes and eats your snacks, one of your snacks.
That animal capable of eating smoked Arctic mole?
Absolutely, that sounds like a good food. Drake cat thing.
Good.
You should have.
I call Sophie.
Please go ahead.
I was gonna say I called Sophie over and I'm like, shake a paw, shake a claw. Excuse me.
She's a little bit worrisome at first, and puts the claw out, and you get not anything that's damaging, but like a little like static electricity shock.
Oh, love. I mean, I'm all about that, so I can tell we're gonna get along.
You get a little lightning, but not anything that's bad. Like just a little light.
Very good.
We're peas in a pod.
There you go.
Here for
Is
it.
this like an 8 a.m. meeting, like crack of dawn meeting?
Yep. 8 a.m. just like before at morn bright.
And by that you mean not gone to bed.
I'll show up like right on time again. A little extra dressed, but still kind of disheveled looking.
All right.
Like I definitely just got out of bed.
Very good. Well, obviously your worrywart boss is there right on time.
Duh.
And Teles comes in and takes a note that you've all arrived early or on time, and he sort of has a smile to himself and a little nod. Doesn't say anything, but certainly takes notice as he is holding his stack of papers that is kind of moving. And he sort of gestures as his little orb flies out and begins prestidigitating his space clean, and then the chair pulls out and he goes to stand in front of it and sit down, and he sort of like plops down this unlabeled, untitled black leather bound book that is pockmarked with scars and almost like burns all over it. And it immediately starts jumping around on the table and flips itself open to what appears to be a map.
I draw my sword and go into a battle stance.
Yeah, I'll draw a dagger as well.
And he'll put up a hand. Not to worry. It's just the Book of the Raven doing its thing again, as it does every decade. And that is where we will pick up with our next adventure. I actually have to look at a calendar. Once again, future Brennan's going to pop in here.